the idea actually of Cathedral High School, Bishop Lopes had this beautiful vision while he was on a retreat at a Benedictine abbey, and he had a vision about the intellectual and artistic life that surrounded the English monastery or the English cathedral. Those were centers of both intellectual activity, not just theological intellectual activity, but the intellectual life of a community, as well as a center of architecture, of art, of music. That it was a robust place of learning many different types of people, many different gifts, but wholly formed people. That's what we hope to see for our students. That's what we work at every day to assist them in becoming.
What is the biggest misconception about Cathedral High School?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think the one thing that we would never want to see is we wouldn't want to see someone not apply because they think it's too expensive. We have a beautiful building, right? Uh-huh. You've seen the architecture of the building.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Great limestone and beautiful facilities here. And so I think when you know that there's this rich curriculum here and that you have all this beautiful architecture and everything, that it might look really expensive. But we wouldn't want a student to not come here who should be here. So if a family discerns that their child should be here for high school, then this is where they should come. And so, yes, we need the support for that. And so some of that involves for us cultivating gifts and fundraising to be able to support that tuition offset. But I think that's the one piece that I would be sad to hear that somebody didn't apply because they were worried about a sticker shock.
Just because of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about the ordinariate?
Ooh, that's a great question, because I think sometimes people don't understand that the ordinariate is Catholic, right? Often because people will use the phrase Anglican ordinariate.
Okay.
Yes, the ordinariate was founded for groups of Anglicans who wanted to come into full communion with the church. And they have. They've been received into the church. That's what this is, a place of that unity that has been called for by Christ himself, right? That all might be one. And so this is a gesture on the part of the church to acknowledge and see that we have groups of people who've been impelled towards unity, that there was good in their lives of prayer outside of the Catholic Church that has called them to want to be one. And so, yes, there's a unique liturgical tradition here because it incorporates some aspects of, for instance, some very rich prayers from the English prayer book tradition, from the Book of Common Prayer, and other sources. But it's still a Catholic Mass. And so I think that's one piece that I would want everyone to know about the ordinariate is this is the Roman Rite. It's one of the forms of the Roman Rite, but it's certainly, this is the Roman Rite. And so any Catholic should feel at home in an ordinariate parish, and certainly any Catholic should feel at home at Cathedral High School. This is a high school that's meant for all Catholic young people in the Houston area. And we actually just received our accreditation paperwork from the Texas Conference of Catholic Bishops.
Nice.
So we are, officially a Catholic high school in the state of Texas, and we meet the requirements for graduation, more than meet the requirements for graduation in the state of Texas.
I would think so.
Yes.
Based on everything that you've told me.
Yes, much more than, which is great. It's a beautiful, enriching experience for our students, but it's for everyone here who's interested in this type of formation.
What would you say to somebody who's considering sending their children here?
Well, first is the discernment. And so we want to acknowledge that for each family we're discerning, on the part of the school, when we meet with you all in a family interview, if what we offer seems to be the right fit for you and for your family, but then also we want each family to discern that. And sometimes that involves a leap of faith, right? We are a new school, so we don't have 50 years of statistics of where everybody went to college, for instance. But if you know in your heart that you want your child to be in a place where the faith is the central component of the life of the school, where all the faculty make the oath of fidelity, where this is prized within every context of the school life. And yet at the same time where the student can inquire, you can ask questions, right? It's okay to ask questions about the faith. That's part of the reason we have an educational institution, is not just to open up their brains and dump things in and then close up the brains, but for them to learn how to use the gifts that they've been given by God. So we want them to ask questions about what's happening here. So if you have a child who's inquisitive and loves the faith and is open to new experiences, I'd encourage them to apply and to come for a shadow day and to check it out and see that there's something really great that's offered here where these young men and women can really flourish. And they're not missing out on something else. They're not missing out on a checklist of college prep. We have a full athletics program. This past year we've added cross country, volleyball. We have soccer, basketball, tennis, baseball we've started, and so that'll only keep growing. We have a relationship with the University of St. Thomas, both a reciprocal tuition agreement, as well as entering into a dual credit agreement with the University of St. Thomas. So we have lots of things that we can offer to families who are coming here. I would just say that if you know that the faith is that important to you, we're the only Catholic classical high school in this whole area. And this is the one place where we know there's that integration point of every single subject with the faith. And that's not to diminish the gifts of any other schools that they offer, but we know that we can offer you that. If that's what you're looking for, then this is the right fit.